Hi folks, hope you're well. Yeah, I just had a go at 2 people in comments in the video talking about the Old Testament is not our guidebook. Because, one bloke was trying to be, both of them were trying to be so clever. Oh my God. Silly people. One bloke said something with big words, and I said, give people examples of what you're saying, because what you're saying, there's no proof of that at all. You didn't give any proof, so therefore give examples. And then he wrote a message saying, oh, because it went over your head, because you don't understand, blah blah blah. And I said, oh my goodness me, why are you doing this crap? Really? At the end of that message I said, the word raka is the right word for you. And the other person said, again, this is such a stupid thing. And that's why I get annoyed sometimes with Paul. I can't blame Paul, it's not his blinking fault. But the way people use the New Testament and don't understand. He said, okay, why was Paul quoting the Old Testament? Who was he talking to? I replied to that person saying, come on, how is your understanding so bad? Come on, it's really simple. If your understanding is so bad, how is your understanding so bad? He was talking to Jewish people who knew the Old Testament, so he was proving that the Lord was in their books to help them go from the old to the new. That doesn't mean that's right for Gentiles, because obviously we didn't have that. We didn't have that at all. So again, people, they think basically Christians are supposed to be between the Old Testament and New Testament because of what Paul wrote. Again, I can't blame Paul, but the way they're using what he wrote, it's the devil leading these people. Because when they ask questions like that, I'm thinking, how could you be so stupid about what you think? Because obviously, that's completely a stupid question. Because if you don't know the answer, you should. And I said to him, you should be asking God this question, not me. You should have gone to God before coming to me about that question. Yeah, the Holy Spirit will tell you, but they don't go to the Holy Spirit. Why is he asking me such a stupid question? He should be going to God about that. And that's the point. It's like the word, the last video. If you don't want God to lead, then you don't want God. That's the point. They don't want God. And it's, for me, it's, oh, bloody, come on, idiots. These videos are not for people that don't want God. So stop listening to these videos. They're not for you. It's obvious. Why am I doing videos saying if you don't want God to lead, then you don't want God? If you don't want God, what's the point of you listening to that? The answer is there in the title straight away. Yeah? I'm not talking to you. I'm not talking to people of this world. Why would I? What, on these videos? No. When I meet people, do I talk to people of this world? Yes. Do I talk to them about God? Yes. Yeah. But I talk to them about a God of love. I talk to them about a God who sent his son down So therefore, everything you've done has been covered already. Dealt with. So therefore, it's not about sin. It's about relationship. I talk to people about that. Why? Because that matters. And that matters so much more. So much more. But in these videos, normally I don't talk about that. Why? Because I'm talking to people who should know that. They should know that. People in church should know that. They should know that. And again, I'm sorry. I've said before, and it is true. It's not about judging people, but it is about saying to people, excuse me, you have the same Bible. It might not be exactly the same Bible, but the same words pretty much. You have the same Spirit to lead you. You have the same Father, the same Son. So therefore, come on. You can ask the same questions. But are you asking the same questions? No, because you don't go to God. And when I did that video saying, because I've been alone, it was better for me because I can only go to God, they're proving that all the time. And for me, yeah. Yeah, in my life, I think, blinking, no. Obviously, my life was so blessed because, yeah, in that way. But come on, people. It is right to say that people do better. Because people should do better. Shouldn't they? People should always do better. But they don't. And it's because they don't desire to do better. As I say, for me, it's one of those things that, yeah. Again, the worst thing about hell for a lot of people is going to be that the chances that they had to go to God, the chances that they had to have the understanding and knowledge and everything else. They had all those chances, right? And they didn't want to use them. And the problem is, when you die, it's too late. It's just too late. And, yeah, people are going to wake up after death and realise that they are knackered. Because they're going to be faced with the reality of their life, and they're going to be faced with having to judge it. Having to judge themselves as to where they go, and they're going to condemn themselves to hell based upon their truthful judgment. And yeah, as I say, the torture in hell isn't be demons torturing you, it will be your own mind. And those who've been in church, yeah, every single opportunity you had to listen to someone who knew, every time you walked away. And people do walk away all the blinking time. Yeah. And when they walk away, let them go. Let them go. Whoever they are, let them go. If they walk away, let them go. Your job is not to chase people down and force them to listen to truth. Your job is simply to speak truth and let God deal with it. Because that's the point. It's up to God to deal with it. It's up to God to use what you're saying and help the right people to listen. And again, it's always seed, and you don't see who is supposed to listen. Most of the time you don't. And that's okay. It's not the point. The point is to give everybody opportunity. And yes, I know sometimes when I'm giving people opportunity, I'm giving people opportunity, and they will be tortured by that opportunity when they go to hell. But the reality is, that's not up to me, that's up to them. They get to be the ones to choose how they conduct their lives. And again, I did a video recently saying you decide how to use all the tools that are there. The good ones and the bad ones, but you decide to use them, how to, what to do with them. And God is one of those tools. A massive tool. Yeah. One that can help you in so many ways, but it's up to you to decide if you want that. Because if you want that, then God will help you, but obviously the journey will be more difficult because you're doing things His way. And the people from the world, they won't like you. And they don't, and that's fine. Because that's the point, yeah? You're not doing it. I don't do any of this to get likes. Any of it at all. I don't do any of it to get likes. I didn't do any of it to get anything else. Now, in two of the two people that I had a go at tonight in messaging, in the comments, one of them, that's it. I had a go at that person and understood that person is where he's going and I can't be bothered. The other person, at least I said to that person, you should be going to God about this. And therefore that person still has a chance. Well, they both do really, but it depends on how they decide to react. They should go to God about it, but will they? Probably not. They'll probably just react and react in anger or whatever. And that's okay, they're more than welcome to do that. So it's people's choice. People get to choose their paths. So there you go. Choose yours. Enjoy. Bye-bye.